Paul. Yeah. I'm just looking at these amendments. Yes, there's amendment number, oops, excuse me just a second here. Amendment number 11, judicial powers construed, right? Judicial powers of the United States shall not be construed to extend any suit of law and equity commenced or prosecuted against one in the United States by citizens in other states or by citizens. Now, there are a lot of individuals who said, well, you can't sue the other states, but it's the full faith and credit of the United States Constitution. When you don't enforce the laws of Washington State and you don't enforce the amendments in the Bill of Rights, I think you actually can sue the other states. Now, each and every individual that happens to be a judge or a justice that belongs to a bar association that went to a law school that took the LAST and a number of other exams, I'm kind of thinking every judge and justice in the United States can be sued, and then there are those that administer the court that are supposed to be independent from the judges themselves, and I think I can actually sue every individual in every court in every county and state of the United States. You violated amendment number 11. Now here's amendment number 12. Electors shall meet, so on and so forth. You know, the truth of the matter is I did announce my candidacy for the presidency of the United States before the last election, when they were still voting in the primary election for who was going to be in the Democrat and who was going to be the Republican. Do you remember that Donald Trump won the presidency when I had informed those of public office that I'm running for president? The truth of the matter is the electors did not know all of those that were available for president, and there was a big discussion about, do electors actually have to vote the popular vote? I mean, did all the electors vote their electoral vote for Donald Trump, or exactly how does that work? Because when they don't know of a possible candidate for presidency, and myself, I had named myself as a presidential candidate because that's how you do it. Yes, yes, you violated amendment number 12. Now, amendment number 13, slavery prohibited within the protection of someone comes have power to enforce this law or involuntary servitude except as a punishment of crime. You know, I've noticed this involuntary servitude. Let's say you decide you were going to jack my nervous system, you were going to put me on the electric grid, and you were going to make me work. Your little lizard grid is involuntary servitude. Now, for every instance that the electric grid was used to obligate me to do any sort of work that I myself did not want to do because you had control of my nervous system and my muscles, you violated amendment number 13. Now, there's amendment number 14. I don't know if you're familiar with that amendment or not. Pow! 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 Amendment number 14. All persons born and naturalized. I was born in the United States on July 13, 1970 in Auburn, Washington. Yes, yes, yes. Abridge the privileges and immunities, deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, and deny any person innocence equal protection under the law. Do you know I'm guaranteed the equal protection of the Violence Against Women's Act that says the two criteria requirements? You have to have jurisdiction to enforce a protection order, pooch, and you have to protect the rights of the respondent. Yes. Now, why it is that you won't remove a fucking protection order when the Constitution says that I have the right to equal protections of the law. The law says you have to protect the rights of the respondent. That would be equal protections of the law. Now, I wanted to make sure that every individual in law enforcement, pooch, all those elected and appointed office, every individual that is a sworn attorney, pooch, attorney oath, those that are judges and justices, every individual in this whole nation that understands that when you continue to enforce a protection order that violated the VAWA, that specifically said you have to protect the right to due process, you violated the equal protections of amendment number 14. Ow! Now you have a representation shall not be a business. So there's a number 4 there about last amendment. All such debts, obligations, claims shall be held legal void. Insurrection and rebellion. I was for sure. I was thinking I was going to employ maybe 20,000 bounty hunters and private investigators to go around and start arresting those that refuse to enforce the fucking law. And there's going to be no question asked because it is section number 4, amendment number 14. Yes, yes, yes. I thought, you know what, I can run this whole motherfucker better than anybody. Yes. So I just want to know, okay, of those in law enforcement that are mandatory reporters that don't seem to understand that when you did not give me the due process rights of the respondent approximately 16 times from July 8th of 2011 to July 31st of 2015, you violated amendment number 14. Now, I had told law enforcement I want the Constitution enforced, inclusive of all the amendments. And for whatever reason the state of Washington has, because they're named as the plaintiff versus myself, I'm going to sue this state. I'm going to sue every state. I'm going to sue this whole nation. And I'm going to sue every country that has any legal liability for the enforcement of the motherfucking law. Now, it's getting dark out. I think this will be my last video. I want an email. I want to know where are my sons, and I want to know where Marilyn Van Proy and her kids are. So just email me, okay? Because I don't want to live where I'm living, though it's a nice place and everything is nice to have a bed to sleep on. I'd like to live with my family.